Fair use.
Hollywood actor Jim Caviezel has warned that the CIA operates the world's biggest paedophile ring, and many of the world's most powerful figures are members. Caviezel, who played the role of Jesus in Mel Gibson's epic Passion of the Christ, has spent the last few years working closely with Operation Underground Railroad founder Tim Ballard, and has personally witnessed the very best and worst of humanity in this world. That's why Caviezel has now dedicated his life to exposing the crimes of the globalist elite, and waking up as many people as possible to the truth, even though he understands that people who blow the whistle on elite paedophilia have a habit of dying before their time. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel.
Trafficking part is 32 billion. 32 to 34 billion is buying and selling the children. But if I have a child, let's say, for example, little Joey, he makes me $20,000 a day for 10 hits with 10 different clients. I'm his pimp. He procures that money. That's 20 grand. There's 152 billion. So to give you an idea what that is, that's every major sports team in the world. All the NBA, all the Major League Baseball, all World Cup soccer, NFL, all that combined, and still not 152. You would have to send every 18-year-old this year that graduates high school to Stanford University for 4 years, and that would be 152 billion.
An international business of this size can't operate without high-level support. And according to Caviezel, the CIA agents he's worked with on multiple Hollywood feature films have confirmed to him that the three-letter agencies are in control.
It's so organized on the trafficking of these children.
Yeah.
In for either sex or and eventually organ harvesting. You can't just have that demand unless somehow that's organized also.
Let's not forget that Ukraine's military, backed by the U.S. government and many Western powers, are into trafficking kids and organ harvesting, selling these kids to the elite and using their, the adrenochrome that's in their blood to apply to themselves to make them look younger. All backed by Democrat Republican Party and by Western European powers.
100%. I believe. Okay, so the agents that I've spoken to. All right, here's it. It's for a barrel of oil, $77. For a barrel of body parts and what's going to be adrenochrome, all the plumes that are in the woman's mother's wombs, that goes into a plastic barrel. That's $77,000. Now that gets sent into these biolabs.
Barrel oil,
$77. $77,000 for a barrel of body parts of children, blood, all of that goes to these biolabs. And then now go to Victoria Nuland's testimony.
The biolabs, you're talking about the biolabs in Ukraine.
Correct.
What? How can
and wherever else those places are. So yes.
Walk through the supply chain of the supply into the biolabs. What do they take?
As far as I can't give you the molecular structure. I can give you
what's the input of the body parts?
Everything, all the waste, all the body waste, all of that. That's what they told me.
Which has the stimulant in it.
Yes, that's one way of getting it. It's probably not the ultimate way, but it's probably a Diet Coke.
Who's organizing that?
I would have to say definitely that it has to be in the three-letter agencies.
After this quick break, Hollywood system. According to Gibson, Hollywood elites have already tried to cancel him, silence him, and destroy his career. All to no avail because we the people know that he's telling the truth. Gibson has just released a new video to let us know that he is still alive and still determined to end child sex trafficking.
One of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children. Our future is our children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime is awareness. Go see Sound of Freedom.
As Gibson says, awareness is everything.
For slave labor, or is it
adrenochrome? The whole adrenochrome empire. This is a big deal. It is listed under the NIH. It is a chemical compound. It's a molecular structure. Is C9H9NO3. It is it's an elite drug that they've used for many years. It's 10 times more potent than heroin and it has some mystical qualities as far as making you look younger. There's
that scene in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas that nobody could figure out.
No, I saw that, and I tell you, that had a big laugh. About 9% of the audience laughed, and I'll tell you,
knowing laugh.
Oh, absolutely, they knew what was going on.
An insider knowing
absolutely what it was, and so we returned that on Sound of Freedom.
According to Caviezel, the three-letter agencies have no interest in stopping the depraved trade in children because they are using it to control the world and reap enormous profits.
Do you believe that that's part of the senior government apparatus? Just does not want to touch this. They profit off it. They don't mind if it happens. I mean, why would DHS, when they're in charge? And like you said, there's 5 drug agents to every 1 human trafficking agent.
Yes.
This trafficking is a massive problem. Everybody, people know it's a problem.
That's my opinion.
Nobody wants to
it's my opinion. I don't know what Tim's opinion, but it's definitely my opinion that this is something they don't want to solve. And so it's going to take the public to put the light on it.
You think that's why they suppressed this film for 3 years after it was finished?
Absolutely. I believe that, look, we'll have people in there. And this is right after the Passion of the Christ. You might have 14 people in the room, and they all want you, but 2 have big enough voices where they can shut down those 12. And so, right now, I don't think it was smart for Bud Light to, somebody woke up in the morning and said, "Hey, let's put transgender on our beer can." Okay, and then Target's looking, going, "Wow, look at all the billions they're losing. We got to do this too."
Basically, it's about just bringing down businesses. That's about it. I mean, Klaus Schwab is about to abolish fashion. Oh boy!
What about
obviously something's going on, right?
Caviezel also sent a message to the mainstream media and the morally corrupt fact-checkers who have dedicated their lives to covering up the crimes of the globalist elite in return for a pay packet.
You want hearings, you want investigations, you want whistleblowers, you want everybody to start coming forward.
I want media to do what Lara Logan's doing. That woman is a hero. She puts herself right into hell, and she goes out and no, she doesn't just say, "Hey, oh, they told you just read these today." Okay, Mr. Caviezel, you've been fact checked. Oh, really? Well, do your fact checkers? Well, let me ask you, since I can't act anymore in Hollywood, can I get a degree in fact checking? Is that like at Stanford, where do you like get a doctorate degree in that, master's? But seriously, they need to cross-examine because they were really quiet when Ms. Rodas gave her testimony, and then the fact checkers went quiet. I thought that was unusual because the fact checkers, we need to listen to them.
Fact checkers, sorry, the fact checkers is corrupt, and fact checkers sometimes need a fact checker sometimes.
But what's interesting is most of these people won't come down to the border. They won't go into those areas of hell, and they won't look at this stuff that's wicked.
Would you say now, if we could organize, get all the media, and by the way, Lara Logan's going to be in the show later in the week, if we get all these, if we put an open,
I would love these guys to come,
and you would take them down, and you would show them.
Well, I would love them to meet a lot of these agents, and that can be provided for them, but they have to go into hell to see it, and then going into the dark web to get.
Can we help to arrange that?
I think that would be amazing.
Okay,
I think there's Jason Jones would be a great guy to go to.
Fabulous.
And then all the connect. Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it would be amazing because then you could like actually film them, see it, and listen to this.
And if they go down,
show them the worst of the worst stuff, guys.
Say it's all phony, then they can sit there and go, "Hey, this is all."
Yeah, maybe it's green screened.
Jim Caviezel,
maybe it's AI. Maybe it's artificial intelligence.
To help us get Jason Jones and team put together.
I would love that.
I'll reach out to Lara Logan too.
That would be amazing.
You like that?
Lara, I love that. She was at a dinner one time with me, and she said a really nice thing to me. And then she said, "Well, here's what Jim's talking about." And she flipped it around, and everybody at the table started screaming. And I said, "Well, that's rated G."
The mainstream media is the enemy of the people. Hollywood is the enemy of the people. They are all about control and psychological warfare, not news and entertainment. And studios like Disney have been rubbing our faces in it for decades.
Even in the Disney film, in Pinocchio, it's unbelievable, the pub scene. And you'll remember this when you saw it as a kid. It gave you a creepy feeling in your belly.
Let's see it. Pub scene in Pinocchio.
He talks about bringing the boys to Pleasure Island.
How would you blokes like to make some real money? I'm collecting stupid little boys. Stupid little boys. I takes them to Pleasure Island. Pleasure Island. Pleasure Island? But the law. Suppose they... No. There's no risk. They never come back.
It's time to take the next step in the war against these people who've used their...
Stewart did. One was It's a Wonderful Life, and the other one was Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
And Congress and the three-letter agencies are allowing it to continue.
I saw a movie that Jimmy Stewart did. One was It's a Wonderful Life, and the other one was Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. And I don't know how you can do what you can do and know the greatest evil of mankind is going on right now. And you're just this. This is because they're killing everybody every child is a Jew, Muslim, Catholic, Christian, evangelical, anybody of any color, skin color, probably black, they want the most.
Yep, they want them the most because they're the least cared about. Being honest, okay? Being very honest here, okay? I'll put it this way. When it came to what Hitler did to the Jews, international outrage. When King Leopold did what he did to Africans in Africa, not really much is known about that at all. Okay? Queen Elizabeth dies, everybody is shedding tears. When you find out about what Queen Elizabeth did to Africans who tried to rebel under her watch, that's rarely talked about. They try to downplay it. Okay, that was in the past. I bet not many people know about what Bill Gates was doing to Africans in Africa. Okay, not many care because the goal of that is to make sure that Africans in Africa are not have any real power, and they stay in a state of poverty. Not all countries in Africa are poor, but that is the goal of Western European powers. Okay, a European professor said that the goal is to keep Africa, down. All right, so Western European countries stay up. That's it. Why do you think in Africa, whenever you have true legitimate African leaders that want to do good for their country, they end up dead or they disappear?
All our children are in trouble. And this is just, it's got to stop. You have the power to do it.
It's not just racist white people. I just want to say that I am not a person that thinks all white people are racist. All right. These types of games, you have allies, who look like me. Like, let's put it like with slavery, right? You would have allies of, racist whites who gained from slavery. They would have black allies that would tell them when the rebellion is coming and stuff like that. Same thing with this stuff. Like, let's say with the Jeffrey Epstein situation, right? There's stuff being said about Oprah trafficking those kids from her school to Epstein Island. See what I mean? Okay. So you have allies in here, whether they're black, whether they're Asian or stuff like that. I mean, Oprah was working with was best friends with a guy called John of God, who was like quote unquote prophet, who had women chained on radiators and did nasty things. And she was close with this dude.
But if you do that, put your thing in the air like that and where the wind's coming from, it's probably not going to move you. So it's really got to come from the people. The people have got to do it. The people are the ones who got to say enough. And that's what will drive this whole thing. It's the people.
Unfortunately, I don't know about that because all they got to do is just hit them with another lockdown, another pandemic. It's coming. There's another lockdown coming. Like I say, is watch Sound of Freedom and protect your kids. Protect your kids. All right. You can check me out on Anchor, Spotify, Hard Talk Radio Live in 4K, and it's free. You could also check me out on TikTok, Hard Talk Radio Live in 4K, and you can check me out on YouTube. You won't be getting this type of stuff on YouTube because YouTube is coming for me. All right, later.